So I can see where I am there. That little red dot. Okay, so I'm quite close to the exit of Regent's Park, the Primrose Hill. So I guess what I'll do is I'll just cross into Primrose Hill, come out the other end, and then I'll walk over here. Where is it? Over there to Camden. Yeah, where it says Camden Town. 9-minute walk from Regent's Park. Or maybe I can just walk straight there. It's the canal as well. Okay, I'm gonna head in that direction. Okay, so I'm between Regent's Park and Primrose Hill, and then there's the canal here. But I think I want to head towards Camden Town. So I think that's towards the right. And actually, just to the right of me here, that's actually the London Zoo. So London, you can't really see anything from here, but you can see some people inside the zoo. Basically, London has a central zoo right on the outskirts of Regent's Park. I know people have mixed opinions about zoos because nobody likes the idea of just being in captivity and all that. I know sometimes zoos can protect certain animals that are endangered and keeping them alive and safe and reproducing, but for the most part, I can understand why some people have mixed feelings about zoos. Not sure if I were the animals, if that would be the way I'd want to live my life. Yeah.
You know, sometimes I like to go from through the canal.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, okay, yeah, I don't mind.
I kind of want to go down there, but there's not an immediate entrance to the canal, although there is one here. Sorry, let's just see what the map says. Sorry. So where am I now? So I'm there. Camden Town is over there. So maybe if I can actually get down into the canal and follow the canal, that should take me all the way to Camden Lock. So I think that's what I'm going to try to do. And I suspect this path here, I don't know, it looks like, yep, there's a way down. Yeah. So I think I want to take a left here. So the interesting thing about Camden Town, where I'm heading, more from a historical perspective, not today, is that Camden was the world's first interchange. And what that means is you had different modes of transport that would exchange there for the purposes of trading goods. And that was hundreds of years ago. So you had the train. This was I can't remember if it was late 1700s or early 1800s, but essentially you had the trains that would go up north and come back down to London would connect with the canal, and the canal was the mode of transport that goes within London, within the city. Obviously, these canals aren't used for transportation anymore, but they were a long time ago. And then there was a huge stables market of horses at the Camden interchange, and in one of the markets in Camden today is called the Stables, and the name the Stables is actually a reference to back in the day when I think they had dozens, if not hundreds, of little stables of horses and things that they would. The horses were used for transporting goods within the city of London, because obviously, even though you had the canals were limited in terms of how much space you could cover. So the horses obviously would transport the goods throughout the rest of the city. So yeah, I'm just going back to that interchange. I think those were the three. I think it was Canal with train with like the station of horses. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I'm not sure if there were any more modes of transport back then. There was no car, no automobile. Okay, just gonna work around these people. Yeah, I mean, somewhere up there I'm gonna have to take a left. I think the waterway breaks into two like a fork. It's actually a bit further than I thought, because I was expecting it to be a couple of minutes and already taken a left, but I'm not sure if it shows well on the video, but there's this red structure way off in the distance there, which I think is a Chinese restaurant. I think that's where the water breaks left and right, so it's actually, I don't know, it's at least half a kilometer still ahead of me before it breaks left. And then once you break left, I think it's a short walk to the Camden Lock, which is right at the market. So I'll just keep on going. Yeah, so if you look at the right here, I mean, you can't see the animals, but that's the edge of the zoo, the London Zoo. It's just up there beyond those walls.
It was so nice. He was like, listen to the whole story. He was like, oh my god, I can't believe this happened. And then he was like, okay, well, the way you do it. And he was like, I don't have a case in court, unfortunately. However, I do think you seem like a young I think if it was, why wouldn't they say hi?
Yeah, they look quite relaxed. Not a bad way to spend a Saturday. Not at all. Okay, so I'm finally starting to approach the end here, where I can see that building. That red building finally seems to be getting closer, which I think means there's a left turn, which hopefully means I'm just close to the market. Yeah, so these are actually houseboats, and it's very common in London around the canals. And the canals, if you're familiar with London, you have like the Camden area, you have King's Cross, kind of Angel, Islington, and then you go further south, and along the canal you have these boats moored, kind of stationed on the side, and people actually live on them. It's a very interesting way of life for those who are used to having your feet on solid ground. But the interesting thing about London is, if you're familiar at all with the housing market here, you'll know it's very, very expensive. Probably one of the most expensive places in the world. Sometimes I look at the rankings of places that have the most expensive houses. Oh, I see some graffiti. Sorry, let's go back that road. Yeah, about the housing market. So London, also places like New York and Vancouver, Canada, San Francisco, USA. You consider some of the most expensive places to live. And in London, when you buy property, you have to pay a tax on the transfer of the asset to your name, and they call it stamp duty. And I think you have similar things in most countries. But the funny thing about these houseboats is you don't pay stamp duty on the purchase of a houseboat. So while houseboats tend to be cheaper than a house, flat, apartment, you also don't pay stamp duty. Doing all right? How's it going?
It's not there at the moment, but often you also
Sorry.
have the carriers near the bottom.
Yeah.
By
Yeah, so the houseboats are cheaper,
the kitchen.
and they're cheaper to transfer them into your name. And because houses in London are usually about £1 million or more, you tend to pay 50, 60, 70, 80k in stamp duty. And that's just to transfer to your name. You didn't have to pay the £1 million for the boat, for the house. But with the houseboats, you don't pay that tax. It's a nice little flamingo. Okay, I finally think I'm getting somewhere. I think I am soon to be there. Yeah, you wonder how people actually get on that side to paint. So the people who come and do this graffiti, they actually need to get a boat to cross over so they can access that area. Oh, I sure hope I took the right turn. Okay, that's an interesting cathedral. Yeah, right on the waterfront. Sorry. Yeah, I wonder how many people fall into the water each year, because I'm not sure if you saw back a second ago, there were these cyclists that were behind me, and I didn't really see them, and I took like a sudden turn to the right, and all of a sudden they were trying to pass me. And if you can see, I'm literally right on the edge here. Right on the edge here. And it can so easily be done where you push somebody into the water. And it's about 7 or 8 degrees Celsius right now, so it's not that bad. Oh, so there you go, one more. So it's not that bad, but yeah, but I wouldn't want to fall in that water. That's still cold. So is Camden Town this way?
Yes.
Okay, got it. Thank you. I must say, I do enjoy living in London. So I have many places in the world that I can call home because I've lived in many places. I've moved around a lot. And London is one of those places, and I've spent a good part of my life here as of recent times. And for a long time I was a bit, how can I put it? For a while I was very discouraged because I thought, you know, being able to buy a place here and all that might be difficult. Because, like I said earlier, it's a very expensive place. Just check out these houses, they're really nice. That's really nice.
Sì, 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 sì.
Questo è bellissimo. Robert.
It's nice, huh? Yeah, but so I've been mainly in London for the past 10, 12, 13, I can't remember, years. It's where I do most of my stuff, my business. And for the first few years, just the whole idea of being able to afford a property was like discouraging because it was very expensive. But if you just stick to whatever, you know, if you just stick to your thing, you know, you keep yourself focused, keep, you know, earning money, grow your career, have a few good fortunes, and then all of a sudden you get yourself on the ladder. And my favorite part of London is North London. I've always lived in North London, in different parts, but always kind of relatively close to this area, which is, I have like a strong attachment to. So yeah, I ended up buying a place a number of years ago, so things worked out. And just some consistency, really. Just kind of keep yourself focused on what you do. Things only go from good to better, and then the things that you want, you end up achieving. And then you kind of move on to other things you want, you know? Like, once you've attained, for example, I don't know, early in life, people strive for things like financial stability and having a baseline of assets like a house, a bank account with a lot of money in it, stuff like that. And then once you kind of get that stuff, to a healthy level, you then start thinking of things like, and again, this doesn't necessarily apply to everybody, but things like, you know, family, kids, but again, that's not to say there's anything wrong with not wanting to have kids or not wanting to have a family. I guess the point I'm making is around the consistency, because whatever it is that you want, whatever it is that life taught you that you want, if you stick to just staying focused on doing good for yourself, staying healthy, and, you know, start always striving for that financial freedom and financial well-being as well, it just makes it easier to achieve those things. But things don't always come from one day to the other, or even 1 year from the other to the other. But if you stay consistent for 1, 2, 5, 10 years, all of a sudden you realize that things that you thought were unattainable 10 years prior, you've already achieved, and it kind of just sets off new desires and new ambitions and new things that you strive for. There's so much graffiti here, I forget. Yeah, like 5 or 10 years ago, I would spend a lot more time here in Camden, because I used to just have more time for it. It was before my daughter was born, before I just got busy with everything. I just used to have more time. But, you know, even coming down here once a month and every couple of months is still quite interesting. Okay, so that we are finally reaching the entrance to the market. Just where that bridge is over there. I'm not sure if the bridge is visible yet, but there's like an arched bridge. It just kind of goes over the canal just up front. Yeah, so as you can see from the graffiti, Camden is a very artistic area where you have a lot of people with that kind of artistic mindset. They spend time here, they do things, whether it's their actual art, like the graffiti on the walls, or people who have their, you know, their particular types of clothing or artifacts or whatever it is they make, unique products. You know, you have all kinds of stuff of that nature in the market. What else? And obviously, artists like Banksy, which I think a lot of people would have heard of, he's probably had 3 or 4 pieces that he's done here in Camden. One of the pieces that Banksy did in Camden, I'm going to kind of point to it, like right there. It used to be there, but the problem with, and then there was one, I'm not sure if you saw, but when I was crossing past the canal just a few minutes ago, there was this place called the Pirate Castle or Pirate something, and that was like an overpass road. That road also attached to the building, just across the Pirates Castle or Pirates Pub building. There's a Banksy painting that's actually been protected by the city, so they framed it in the public space by putting like a frame around it against the wall of the building. And then if you go like further south that way, towards an area called King's Cross, then Banksy had some art done there, but people tend to dog it quite quickly. They tend to spray paint over it, especially people who support rival graffitists. It's just Yeah, it's really busy. Okay, so I gotta work out what I'm gonna do here. Yeah, it's just so many people. Yeah, sometimes I almost prefer when the weather's not good, because you don't get as many people here. You can actually walk around a bit better. Yeah, and foreigners love this place too, because you hear lots of, I think the 3 foreign languages that I most hear, oh there you go, you see? It says the interchange. So that used to be where the trains used to come down here from the north, and then they would interchange with the lock. So that's what I was mentioning before. But sorry. I actually forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah, languages. So you hear a lot of Spanish, Portuguese, and Italian, and just about every other language too. But you have a lot of Spanish, Italian, and Portuguese. I think tourists from those places, and even people who live in London from those places, just I think they just enjoy the vibe of Camden, because it's, you know, it is quite unique. They got some of the, holy shit. Well, as you can see, a lot of people, and that's not even, I mean, that's not even exaggerating. That is a lot of people. There's a sign that says danger of falling objects. I guess they're doing works up there.
What am I talking about? Well, if you stop and listen, you might find out. Because you can't just ask me like 40 bucks. Don't do what some random bloke like that tells you to do.
Make sure your eternity is secure.
Forget your eternity being secure. Your eternity is secure. You're going to die, and that will be it. That'll
Don't
be the
trust
end of you.
anyone that wants you to go to hell.
Oh, stop it with this whole scaremongering hell business. These people have got real problems they've got to deal with, like paying the rent. He's not going to help you, Jesus, pay the rent for your parents.
Yeah.
Everyone's gonna die one day.
Wow, they're having a competition. It's almost like a rap battle. They're basically dissing each other.
Do you pay your own rent? You don't speak English. You just enjoy hearing someone
Uh-oh.
something in a foreign language.
No idea what's gonna happen.
It's like a spectacle, right?
Yeah, I'm just gonna
That dull.
keep on going. Yeah, if there's one thing about Camden Town is that you have a bit of everything here, and I mean absolutely everything. All the good, bad, and everything in between. But it's the only real place of its kind that I've ever come across.